This was absolutely the most amazing Juneteenth legacy I've ever had, and it also had the absolute most problems of any Juneteenth legacy I've ever had, and I'm including, y'all, I am including the 2024 one where we were supposed to host it at the Legacy Center in Atlanta, and, like, a month before our event, or maybe 2 months before our event, they went bankrupt. So it was like, "What?" We have to totally pivot and find some kind of new way to do it. So we actually ended up doing that year online. Okay. Uh, but this was a really good, this was really a great opportunity. A lot of things went really well. A lot of things didn't go well. So if you have a Zoom account and over the last 2 months you have noticed that your Zoom meetings haven't been as well attended as they used to be. There's some kind of new security measures that Zoom is taking, and it's making it hard for people to get into your Zooms. Now, this may have been resolved in the last couple of weeks. I honestly probably should have looked that up before we started, and I didn't. I will look it up before long because I'm going to talk to what happened in that in our group coaching next week. Okay. Tuesday at 11 Central next week, we're going to be doing our group coaching. So if you want to get in on that, and we're going to talk about Zoom, we're going to talk about things that are, just little things that are keeping you from making the money you should be making with your Zooms and your courses and things like that. That's what we're going to be focusing on in our group coaching. But I had multiple speakers. None of us knew this was happening. It was keeping people in a wonky waiting room situation. And so our Wednesday opening sessions did not go as well as we wanted. But in the process of trying to troubleshoot and listening to Dr. Fraser's keynote about 20 times, well, it was an hour long. So let's say maybe about 5 times trying to troubleshoot. Shout out to the OSU Tulsa folks, man, they took such good care of us and tried to help troubleshoot. We attracted a lot of people into the room Wednesday just because they were hearing Dr. Fraser's voice from down the hall, and they would come like, "Who is this? This guy's got a lot of good stuff to say." And I mean, over and over and over. And then some people came in that actually had heard of him. They're like, "Is that Dr. George Fraser?" Yes, it is. And so it actually was very interesting. Then we had, oh, I forgot to put the slide back. Let me put the slide back. Okay. So that was day one. That was really a lot of fun. And then day 2 was the real day. Now, because everything went the way it went, I'm used to day 1 being day 0, and I had some miscommunications on my part. But day 2 was really interesting for me because a couple things happened. First of all, I have never, ever, not ever in my life had an event where people paid for tickets and did not show up. We had tons of people at the evening event, but we did not have a lot of people attend the main session. But the people who did attend the main session, especially our education panel, oh my goodness, it was so powerful. And so, as a conference planner, it's like I want everybody to make lots of money, but you know what else I want? I want people to move the needle forward in their lives. I want people to be able to make a difference, and I want people to be equipped with tools that are going to help them. And there were young educators in that room who were equipped with tools that are going to help them help move the needle forward, to pick up the mantle that their predecessors have left, and that their mothers and their aunties have worked in the classroom. Their dads and their uncles have worked in the classrooms, and they've gotten things so far. And now these young ladies that were in the room will be able to pick up that mantle and put it on and move forward. Such a powerful time. So if you walked in at the beginning, you would have seen me like, what has happened? I've never had so many people pay for an event that didn't come. Like, usually if you have a free event, a free event, look, this is a freebie, y'all. If you have a free event, you can basically count on like 1/3 of those people actually showing up. Maybe if you don't live in a place like Shreveport where it's always bigger, better deal, lots of free stuff at the last minute. But for the most part, but when people pay, "Ooh, you expect them to come." And we just had to regroup, and I still I'm sad. I'm sad for well, I'm not it's hard to be sad for people that invited themselves to speak, um, but I always want people to get what they came for. I want them to get the assets they came for. I want them to get the business they came for. I want them to get the results that they came for. And unfortunately, some of our attendee some of our speakers did not get that. And so if you are one of those speakers, I do want to it's like I want to apologize to you. At the same time, I don't know what else I could have done. I do know a couple things I could have done for that market, and so we are applying those lessons to Kansas City, and hopefully we will go back to having our 50-ish people, 50 to 75 people in the conference, And so, but that was that day. That night, let me pull that up here. We rented out the theater and we did a very special screening of Juneteenth Faith and Freedom. It was unusual for me because I don't go to movie theaters for religious and for health purposes, flashing lights and all that being a veteran. I don't go to movie theaters. Uh, but when it was an opportunity to curate the audience, local Bible studies brought their people, and so I said, "Okay, this is gonna be a group of people that love the Lord, and we're gonna look at this movie," and we were able to have and I should have put her picture on here. Why didn't I do that? Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Well, we had one of the producers of this film came and spoke, and it was powerful. She was wonderful, okay? And so it was a wonderful, wonderful event. And that one people paid for, and that one more people showed up than I expected. Like, thankfully, we had some wiggle room in the seating because I think the only seat left in the room was the one that I would have sat in if I hadn't been outside setting things up for the after thing event. Okay. And so then from there, we had our Black Veterans Brunch Friday morning. And this one, if you are on the slide, and I think there's 2 other speakers that joined us that are not on the slide, they weren't originally. If you were part of this, I do owe you a big apology. And I'm actually super grateful. I'm not gonna name who it was, but one of our speakers that day followed up with me and said, "Hey, you never gave me the assets that I was supposed to get. You never paid us. You never did this. You never did that." And I was like, "What? What are they talking about?" So I'm look, whenever you have an event like this, you always have people come with their hands out, right? And so when they originally emailed me, I was like, "Well, you're not on my list of people to get paid." And I'm not trying to be rude about it, but sometimes you do have to be kind of stern because people will just hustle. And I respect the hustle, but that's not what we're here for. Anybody that works with me knows I always try to make it right. And so if I owe you money, I'm gonna try to make it right. Now if I owe you money, but you haven't fulfilled your order, and I say, "Hey, you need to do this, 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 and this," and then you ghost me, well, I've got records that I tried, right? So I'm not gonna feel bad about that. But in this case, I was like, "Oh, you're not on my list of people to get paid. Only people who showed up in person got paid." Well, what I had forgotten was, and this is where the apology comes in. So I'm going to extract this out. Okay. I'm going to extract this out and I'm going to send it to my Juneteenth speakers because they did such a phenomenal job. And I really feel bad when I mess things up like that. Like I'm so much more, aren't we all like that though? Aren't we all a little bit more tolerant of other people who make mistakes than we are of ourselves when we make mistakes? Right. So I'm more tolerant of other people. I'm more gracious with other people when I make the mistake. Ooh, Ooh, Lord, help me forgive myself. So, I'm going back and forth with the speaker, and then I'm like, "Wait a second, is this the you said this and you said this," and I was like, "I said that." So we're not used to paying Black Veterans Brunch speakers. Black Veterans Brunch is usually shared experiences, people who have suffered some of the injustice and the racial disparities that were captured in the Air Force IG report back in 2020 and multiple reports previous to that. People who've experienced those things usually come and they give because they want to. But this was one of those situations that was so powerful. Wait, let me back it up. And usually the Black Veterans Brunch is not broadcast. We don't share those conversations. But the talks that these 4 on this screen, and I think there was 2 others that joined us, those talks were so powerful that I said, "Hey, will you let me broadcast these? And if you let me broadcast these, we will pay you." Well, this is our 8th Juneteenth, and I've never paid anybody for the Black Veterans Brunch. So I had to send a big apology. I had to send a big apology, and we have not yet processed this yet. So when we do process this, we will make sure that everybody who was in that agreement that I could broadcast their stuff, all those people are going to get their fee that I promised them on the thing. And if you're one of those people, please count it. I don't even wanna count it to my head versus my heart, but it was just a lot happened, plus my computer dying, in the middle of the Thursday night broadcast. It was just a lot. A lot went wrong and a lot went right, but the things that went wrong are things that impacted how I served you, and so for that, I really do apologize. Another interesting thing that happened, and this again, some of you are like, "Why is she talking about this? This doesn't have anything to do with us." But I know that a lot of my Juneteenth speakers want to speak next year, and they also want some reassurance that we're going to have maybe a more full event. And I want to let you know that we do have some issues with some of the footage. Okay. One of the main issues with some of the footage is that even though we repeatedly reminded people that the Zoom speakers in the ceiling captured quite a bit, there were people who made some dissatisfactions known while other speakers were speaking, and so I don't I'm trying to get that footage edited so that you can really shine on stage, and if that doesn't happen, then we will figure out a way to make it right. You'll at least have some B-roll, right? You'll have some B-roll of you talking, but if we can't clean that up, then I don't wanna post it, because I'd like to think that anyone that comes to my events is going to be gracious and charitable and understand that things don't always work out right. But when it comes to people's money, people really want to, hey, they came to make money. And sometimes, those frustrations can show. And we're not used to being in a room that is modern like that and has all the speakers in the ceiling. So I'm just gonna count it that people were just temporarily, frustrated and just weren't expecting it and didn't realize the impact that they were gonna have. So, I really hate to air all that dirty laundry publicly, but I've sent a lot of apologies on emails and stuff, but I wanted to make sure that I got everybody at one time. And some of y'all, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, some of y'all have applied to speak or you spoke at an event, but you unsubscribed. So when I send out the information that you need, you're not on there. And I can't help that, but I know you watch these videos because you come back later and say something to me about them. So that's part of why I'm doing this publicly. I don't like to ever I don't well, actually, I don't have a problem admitting defeat a lot of times because, hey, I'm great. And I'm gonna recover. I'm great, but I'm not perfect, right? I'm awesome, but I'm not perfect. But, I know that other people feel like, "Oh, if you're gonna have this brand, you can't say stuff like that." Well, you know what? I need this apology to get out to as many people as possible because sometimes you mess up, and I need you to know that if you work with me in the future, that I'm going to do everything in my power to make it right. And like my one of my taglines is, "If I can't make it right, I'll at least make it better." And that's what I'm going to do. So, we still need to process this one. Oh, wait, let me put that back. We still need to process the Black Veterans Brunch, and when we do, we will process the payments and send everybody their files, okay?